it's Jackie and I'm back with yet another flip through. This time we're going to take a look at my Smash Book. This is the main Smash Book that I kept in 2015 and it's all done. And I haven't shown it to you in a long time, so here it is. It's, if you recall, I made it out of papers that I had pulled from another Smash Book. I just kind of repurposed them into this book. And I have to say, for just being made out of like pages I was considering tossing anyway, and a couple of sheets of chipboard, I love this book. I think it turned out awesome, so I'm really glad that I did it. It's got me motivated to keep repurposing my stuff. So I want to keep this video under 15 minutes, so we're going to go through it, and I'll probably go through it pretty quickly. But basically anything that I couldn't fit in my other journals just ended up in here. There's a little card talking about what the book's about. So it's just like a ski ticket, a label off a honey jar, a Kit Kat bar I had, selfie I took in the elevator, and then I just do some stamping, and I do little bits of journaling everywhere. I keep the decorations really minimalistic, just like scraps of paper from that same book, washi tape, stickers I want to use up. Here's my husband standing outside our wine club. We used to be, I'm really glad I took this picture because we are no longer members. We were members for about 3 years, and it was this like super posh wine club that looked like a warehouse on the outside, and the door cracked me up every time because it was like a secret. So I took a picture of him standing in front of it. There's me on a Gila monster at the zoo. I thought it's perfect for this zoo journaling card. Just some little social media things, like this is conversation I had on Facebook that just made me laugh so hard. My name on a Coke label, washi tape. This was actually cut off the side of a can, like an aluminum can, and so it's got a little bit of curve to it, and it's metal. Picture of a raccoon from the newspaper. This is something my husband does to my hair every night. It cracks him up to mess my hair up. I trained for a 10-mile run this year. The training was so amazing, I thought I have to write this down. Perfect book is the Smash Book for it. So I just wrote in all the weeks of training so I can go back and do it again whenever I want. I called it 10 miles in 10 weeks. This is an old photo from the Christmas party at work in 2012 that I just found in my drawer, and I thought, oh, throw it in the Smash Book, and I just put the words throwback with some alphas. This is a card that came with my Nintendo DS, and it just had a picture of Pikmin on it, and they're my favorites, so I saved it. I got caught in the rain while I was running one day, so I made this sad face and took a selfie. More of my running training. And I carried on right onto the third day to finish up the training. Some Dairy stickers kicking around. In here I've got something from a race bib that I did. My husband's bib from when he did the Ride to Conquer Cancer. There's a receipt here from the liquor store because we do wine scavenger hunts that make me laugh. And this is just a fancy pants journaling card I love, and just thought this was a good spot for it. When my husband and I get Starbucks, the cups say Jack and Jackie, and it makes the baristas laugh, so I took a picture of the cups. This is from a local brewery. It was like gold and shiny, and I liked it, so I stuck it in here. This is actually a journaling page I made to show my sister how to make a journal page, and then it was so pretty. This was like from 2 years ago. We went to the zoo, we saw the flamingos, that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to save that, put it in the book. And that's the kind of just random stuff that ends up in here. There's a picture of me next to a tree that's so big that you can barely even see me in the picture. I caught a raccoon in the garbage, and this is a raccoon that I stamped and colored with my Copics. Another one of those little Nintendo cards. Then you run into some book pages here, and I thought, oh, let's art journal for a bit. So I just art journaled them. This one already had the pictures of the dresses on it, so I just then tangled a border around the outside, and I just colored the whole thing with watercolors. This was sort of a failed experiment. I picked up one of the Faber-Castell Pitt pens, and I thought you could smudge it on top of matte medium, but it didn't work for me, so it's just like some random butterfly die cuts on a sheet of Tim Holtz tissue paper, and I think I watercolored that one. This one I just saw this quote and I loved it. I love the way it rhymes. I love the meaning, and so this page I just gessoed. I hit it with some distress inks. I don't remember the colors. And then I had these Prima gold flakes, and I've been sitting on those for like 1.5 years, and I never used them, so I just threw some of them on this page. But I really should make some kind of mixed media art with them. They're pretty cool. This one I was just feeling lucky one day, so I wrote out one of the lucky ones. I did a gelato's background. I stamped down my letters with some Inka-Dinka-Doo stamps. I stamped them in black, and then I traced around them with a white gel pen, and then just doodled a border on the outside. And I think that turned out super pretty. My grandmother gave me a picture of her. I didn't have a spot for it, so I put it in the book. My husband got promoted this year, which is super exciting, so I just put his business card here. I made fun of his title because it's now 9 words, and I just put dreams come true. I just put some washi tape over it to cover out some personal details. We discovered Uber Eats this year, so I just put their sticker there. There's this sign in Halifax that cracks me up every time I see it. It's part of a wider panoramic, but when you isolate it out, it says $25 lobster drink. I just love that. This is an old picture from 2009. My husband took me to the circus, and or not the circus, but the carnival, and we won every single lion and tiger that they had at any of the kiosks, and then I also had a horse. So that's me like holding them all. Sometime this year I got to level 1000 in Candy Crush, so I just snapped a picture with my phone and wrote some journaling here with a white gel pen. I had this picture from before I started journaling when my husband did Movember. It's a before, during, and after when he was growing his mustache, and I had already framed it, so I was like, well, I should just print that off. And I finally got to use this Teresa Collins mustache border I've been sitting on for a long time. A picture of my mom and my aunt on the waterfront in Prince Edward Island. This was from another album that just had as many pictures as I could fit in it, and this was kind of like an overflow picture, so I throw it in here. My friend bought me some vanilla about 2 years ago. It was a whole liter, and I finally used the whole thing up, and I was so sad to see it go that I just saved the label. I think it was one of the best gifts I've ever received. This is the label off my favorite tea this year. It's called Read My Lips, and it's by David's Tea. Oh, it's so good. It's like chocolate and mint. So I called it the official tea of 2015. This is a card from the cafe in the library in Halifax. The new library has a new cafe, and it was so cool. So I wanted to save the card. Tag off with some washi tape that I bought. These were some journaling cards that I just liked them the way they were, so I just put this penguin on. That's one of Sparkly Canadian Crafty Girls penguins. And these are pictures that this is kind of just for me to remember. This is how my husband looks at me. This is how I look at him. He took this picture, I took this picture. They were on totally different days, totally different months, totally different places. But I just felt like they had like a common element, and I just put a couple little stickers on them. When I'm in the Maritimes, I drink so much tea. And one time I was there in the summer, I took pictures of all the tea that I drank, and there was like cans of iced tea and Thai iced tea and cozy tea at home and fancy teas and cafes and Starbucks and artisan teas. And so I just put I love drinking tea in the Maritimes. It helped me use up those alphas, which is great. And I just did some little Maritime-y stamps on it. There's this sculpture outside of, like, it's in my neighborhood, and it has thousands of names on it. Every time we walk by, I look for my name. It's been like a couple years, and I finally found my name, so I was so excited. Just adjust the camera a little here. So I circled my name on it. It's hard to see because when I found it, it was night, so I couldn't get a good picture, but there it says Jacqueline. And just some Snap Simple Stories I Am collection stickers. There's so many of those to get through. This was on the sign at the Starbucks. They had it like drawn. Somebody had drawn it on the chalkboard. I sent my sister a book that I'd made for myself, and I took the J off and changed it to an E for her name, Erin. So I still had the J left, so I just threw it in here. This is a body of water that I crossed. I consider it to be a river. My husband considers it to be a stream, but either way, I was proud I crossed it. Found some Girl Guide cookies this year. It's been like 3 years since I've been able to find them, so that was exciting. This was a Halloween decoration, a spider hugging a tree that was in my neighborhood. And like these alphabets are so ugly, and this book is a great place to use up ugly things rather than throw them away. This was a picture my sister had taken of my husband and I at the airport, and she printed an extra copy by accident, so I was like, fine, I'll take it, I'll put it in my book. And there is a picture of my sister, pardon the language, but I said my sister's pretty badass because she looks very confident in that photo, and that's why I love this photo. This was from a pop can. And then I just took this picture because my mother's socks were the same as her sneakers, like they matched, and I always match my socks to my sneakers for the gym, so I just thought that was funny. I like this Chocolate Cat envelope the way it was, so I left it, but I did put a tag inside. There's this pizza box that my sister filled with stuff and sent it to me. I filled it again, and I sent it back to her, and I thought if she fills it and sends it back to me, I can just keep taking pictures and put them in this envelope, and now I have a spot for them. On the back, I took a picture of the prettiest flowers I saw all year, and the ugliest flower I saw all year. It was 3 feet tall. It was called a devil's tongue, and it was ugly, and it smelled awful. This is a piece of art that's in my neighborhood. That's like it's a copper. Is it copper? I don't know what steel I think it's made out of, and it's a picture of the city, and they made all the bodies of water. They put plants where the bodies of water are. It was pretty cool. This is my mother's ancient blender. I just laughed when I found it in her cupboard because it's like, I don't know, 40 years old, 30 years old. I have no idea. Internet meme that I put my face on back when that was cool for like a week. There was one day where I got an Ipsy bag and I got a pair of running tights, and they were exactly the same print, and it just was such an odd coincidence. I thought I should save that. A picture of lobster flavored potato chips that I found in PEI. Gross. Extra picture of my grandparents on my grandmother's 80th birthday. This text message pretty much sums up every text message my husband's ever sent me. It says, I love you. Don't let obstacles slow you down. Remember to wear sensible shoes. That's what he always tells me. Got a little card in here. That's my favorite piece of graffiti. It's just like this tiny little smudge on a giant window. When you zoom in, it's this grumpy little guy, and he's just adorable. And I just journaled about that on the back. Another Facebook thing where you find out your most common words. Some extra pictures from when we went to the National Gem Collection, I think in, I don't know, April. And then this is a picture of the display cases in there, and I used my Doesn't Get Any Better sticker because it doesn't, the gems there are the finest in the world, so it really doesn't. I have a picture of myself and my husband under a bridge. I love taking pictures under bridges. I don't know why. I'm always, anytime I'm under a bridge, I take a photo. This is just some pictures from the subway, and it was funny because they were from 2 different subway stations on 2 different days, but they kind of lined up, so I felt like lining them up in the book. The day I taught my father how to use chopsticks, there he is successfully picking up some rice. I had these little paper pages, journal pages, so I decided to talk about how hard I've been trying to curl my hair. I found it so impossible. It took me 2 years, as you can see, to figure it out. I made a list of all the things I tried. I journaled about it. I finally found the mirror curl, and the mirror curl has been amazing for me. So here's a picture of me with my curly hair, and then I found another way to curl it, and I put a picture of that too. Some pictures of my husband and I just taking naps. Well, I'm taking a nap. This is a picture of him testing out pillows at the bedding store, which I just thought was funny. Somebody in my building threw out their Christmas tree in November. I laughed so hard when I saw it in the dumpster because it was 11 months old and it was ratty and dead, and the trees outside looked the exact same because all the colors were changing, and I just thought it was funny. This is just like a random poutine food truck decoration you can buy at Canadian Tire. I was like, seriously, Canada? This one says warning graphic images inside. If you followed my other journals, you might remember I fell down while I was running. I shredded my hands to pieces. They were all bloody and gross. My husband took pictures. They're in there. I'm not going to open it and subject you to that. My husband talked me into playing Clash of Clans. And it's one of those games where you build a castle and it gets bigger over time, like over months and years. So I thought it'd be fun to take a picture of what it started with, and then I can look back on this in years and be like, oh wow, look how big my castle got. And I just put tap a tap because that's what my husband and I, that's how we describe playing on our tablets. We'll just be like, oh, I'm just going to go tap a tap for a bit. This is a mooring in Halifax. They're supposed to look like this. Somebody painted one to look like a Goomba. Oh my goodness, it cracks me up. I love that thing so much. We do these puzzle pint things, and one month you always have to kind of print out a puzzle and solve it to find the location of where they're going to be. So this is one of the puzzles that I had to solve to find where it was. I think it ended up being at Jack Astor's, and I just put a note on the back and a little bit of stamping, some stickers, and some washi. This was just a Mambi sticker. I didn't have too much to put on that tag, so I just doodled around the outside. Picture of myself and my brother-in-law and my husband, along with our hashtag. It started as a joke, and it's one of those jokes where you say it so often it starts to become a real thing. So now we have a hashtag. We had on Christmas Eve, we drove through a rainbow. It was like the most amazing, magical moment. It was the full 180-degree arc of a rainbow, and it ended square on the highway, and we drove through the end of the rainbow. It's the first time in my life I've ever found the end of a rainbow. It was on my bucket list. So I had to do a page about it, but of course Christmas Eve was such a busy journaling day already, so my December daily I had other stuff to talk about, so that's why it ended up in this book. So I just used some Snap Simple Stories. You buy like the 8-pack of alphas, and I pulled one from each alpha to get the rainbow colors, and these were just some old stickers that I had. I don't even know what those are. This page is Are to Remember Macaroon. He was a hedgehog that my husband and I had in 2007. And I just realized I didn't have anything documented about him. I didn't have any pictures, and I found these pictures on Facebook. So I just printed off a bunch of pictures of him, and I just stamped hedgehogs because I loved that little hedgehog. He was so wonderful. You might see your name here. These are just some, you know, I get so much positive feedback on social media, and it's something I never want to forget. So I just printed off some of the comments that I've received from Facebook, from YouTube, from wherever I am, and stuck them onto these pages just to kind of remember this period of my life where I'm having so much fun with social media. I used some Heidi Swapp stuff on this page, so it has that Heidi Swapp look to it. I taught my sister how to use alcohol markers, and we practiced coloring alpacas, so that's one of the alpacas that we colored. A picture with my cousin together, and just some journaling cards and some enamel dots there. My husband is such a dork. He was trying on we were at Burger King, and he got one of the Burger King crowns, and he was just in such a good mood that night. He was so comical that I just wanted to remember that night, so I have this goofy picture of him. Just washi tape and more paper scraps. And on the last page, I ended it with 2015 was the year of the selfie. I probably took 100 selfies this year. I am so tacky. So this was the last one we took on December 31st, and I just happened to have a selfie sticker, so I threw that in here. So yeah, oh good, we're just under 15 minutes. That was my Smash Book. I love it. I'm going to do another Smash Book this year, and I'll show that in another video. Thank you so much for watching.